Hello, this is William Cooper. Welcome to Awakening Together, Relaxing into Happiness. I trust you're doing well. Today, let's talk about trust on a little deeper level than we have in the past few podcasts. Trust. Let's look at it from the perspective of oneness. From oneness, everything is perfect. Everything is interdependently working perfectly. Every part of the puzzle has a place. Everything has a reason. Everything is good and exactly where it needs to be. Oneness. Nothing you have to do. It's all working perfectly. Interdependent, interconnected. Perfectly. It's a beautiful, evolving painting, just as you would like it from the perspective of oneness. From this all-powerful, all-knowing perspective, everything is good. Everything is fine. There's nothing extra you have to do. There's nothing you have to fret about. After all, you're all-powerful, all-knowing. Everything is working perfectly and always will. Every impulse is created in creation for you. Every beauty, every way that you want things to be is the way it is. What does that have to do with trust? Well, from that perspective, there's only trust. Everything is working perfectly. There's no doubt. There's no, oh, I better do this to fix something, because everything is perfect. Oh, I better do that. No, everything is perfect. There's nothing you have to do. It's perfect. What's the point? The point is that is you. You are oneness. See, when we look at things from our separated viewpoint, everything is fractured. Even within us, we have 1,000 different voices. Everything's fractured. All around us, all these personalities and people and all this differentiation. And things seem very hopeless and disjointed. We feel very separate, and from our separation, we feel fear, hurt, and anger, and we're constantly trying to fix things. They're not right. We have to fix them. If we don't, who will? That causes lots of stress. I've got to get things right. I don't know how to handle this situation. How should I handle it? That's stressful to try to figure out how to handle everything perfectly. But what if you don't have to? What if from the place of oneness, everything is okay? And there's nothing you have to do. It all happens effortlessly. What if the vision that you have for your particular incarnation flows through you, we'll call that intuition, and you see what's best for your life, and it happens? What if that's your consistent experience in reality? You can relax into that if that were the case. Complete trust. You'll see from an awakened standpoint that all the masters talk about, just relax, it's okay, you can trust, because they are coming from a place of oneness. They are one. They are all, just as you are. Why worry? The lilies of the field are clothed. The birds are taken care of. Jesus talked about these things, as did so many other enlightened masters. Everything is okay. Well, how do we know this? when we stop, which is what we do in meditation, we just observe. And from that place of observing, we are one. We slowly melt into oneness. It doesn't mean that all the things in our mind and in our emotions stop. No, they're continually unwinding, evolving, and reorienting to reflect us as we become more and more clear. They become channels and tools through which we flow. So those thoughts and emotions never really stop. The best they do is unwind and reorient in a more healthy and comfortable way. What also happens, though, is as we relax into our true selves, deeper and deeper, from a place of awareness, which happens when we stop and let everything settle out, which is called meditation. From a place of deep awareness, we feel connected to everything. Why? Because we are everything. We are one. And in that oneness, there's nothing we have to do, because oneness is everything and wants the best for us because it is us and it has the power to make the best happen. It's all interconnected. Our individual incarnation experiences and somewhere deep down inside knows what's best for our incarnation. And it feels that it can happen. Our dreams can be fulfilled. What are our dreams? Our dreams are our deepest intuition or knowing of what is best, what the One wants for our incarnation. So, as we've talked about in past podcasts, depending on which angle you're explaining things from or how you're viewing the world, from one angle, we're viewing the world from a place of separation, and we need to deal with it from that place, as long as that's where we are. That's appropriate. From another angle, we're coming from the place of oneness, and we flow from that place. All these things are happening simultaneously, yet always in the big picture, which filters all the way through every aspect of our experience, in the big picture is oneness. So, as we settle and we see our dreams, we see what's best for us, we feel what opens our heart. That comes from a higher place. And when we see it and we continue to focus on that, the oneness moves through our incarnation and makes that happen. There's nothing we have to do. Have you ever held a dream or a vision and it started to happen? You hear about vision boards. Perhaps you have one. Or goal setting or something along that line where you focus your deepest desires and they begin to occur. That's because you're opening in clarity to your highest self, to your oneness, and you're letting it flow. And there's nothing from that position that you as an incarnation have to do. It just happens. The world conspires to make your dreams come true. The universe conspires to make your dreams come true. Oneness. In deep trust, there's nothing you have to do. You simply flow. You simply flow. There's nothing you have to do. You don't even have to be in tune with yourself. You don't even have to be clear. Because who's orchestrating your life? Including your clarity, including your pain, including your joy. Who's orchestrating all that? It's the oneness. And oneness knows exactly what needs to happen and how to have it happen. So everything that's occurring in your life, whether you're connected to it or not, is perfect. It's just how oneness wants it to be, including your awakening. You awaken when oneness wants you to awaken, because oneness is in charge of your incarnation. You are part of oneness, not vice versa. You are part of oneness. Oneness, like Yogananda said, it's not quite right to say I am God. Better to say God has become me. Oneness flows down through you. So there's nothing you have to do. It's all perfect. It's all flowing. So, if that's true, doesn't that take a lot of stress off of you? You don't have to perform. You don't have to get everything right, because it's all perfect just the way it is. Well, how can it be perfect if I feel pain? How can it be perfect if I feel tension and anxiety? We've talked about that in past podcasts and will more in future podcasts, but just briefly, everything is interconnected and interdependent. Is it possible that your pain is connected to the whole world, and somehow your pain, which is an energy, influences something else around you, which influences something else, which influences something else, and so on and so forth, and somehow supports the universe, somehow is necessary in the workings of the entire universe? We'll talk about it in another podcast, but perhaps you've heard about the butterfly effect, where the flapping, something as minor as the flapping of the wings of a butterfly, according to chaos theory, can shape, direct, or even be the source of the beginning of a hurricane. Sometimes the most apparently disconnected things or unrelated things, just because they affect the thing next to them, which affects the thing next to them, and so on and so forth, affects the whole world around it. So your pain may be supporting a bridge in Tokyo. I don't know. The one wants it to be there, or it would not be there. Yet there it is. So here's something to think about. As oneness, as we awaken, is it possible just for a moment to relax and feel good about feeling unrelaxed, knowing that being unrelaxed is important to the universe, or you wouldn't feel it? Couldn't you just relax as oneness and feel good about your role in the vast painting? You're a splash of color on the canvas, including your pain. So, can you relax and simply feel that? Feel good about feeling bad? Is that possible? It removes one layer of trouble. For instance, sometimes I feel anxious about feeling anxious. I shouldn't feel this way, so let me try to get over it. I'm feeling anxious about feeling anxious. Well, what if I don't feel anxious about feeling anxious? What if I just simply feel anxious and feel good about it? What if there's nothing I have to do in life to move forward? Well, you probably heard the saying that nobody becomes an astronaut by sitting on the couch and simply praying about it. They have to get up and do something. So that's in direct conflict with what I just said, right? Well, yes and no, because part of the whole is what flows through you intuitively. So if you're relaxed about feeling bad, or relaxed about not knowing what to do, or relaxed about sitting on the couch, not doing anything, even if you want to be an astronaut and not knowing what to do. Yet suddenly, through you intuitively, you feel the urge to get up and go to school, to learn to be an astronaut. Follow your intuition. You're doing something, but you're doing it from a relaxed position. You're simply in the flow. That's what life looks like from an awakened place. You're doing something, yet it doesn't exactly feel like you're doing something. You know, there's a different feeling when you feel called to something. It's like you can't sleep without doing it. You're so excited. You want to get out there. You want to do it. Maybe it's gardening. You really want to get out in the garden. You can't put it down. Yet to somebody else, it looks like you're really working hard out there. It's hot and sweaty, but you're in complete joy and immersion because you're following your flow. You're following your intuition. Deep trust allows you to let go because everything's okay. Back to those vision boards. Back to the goal setting. When you're in touch with even a flicker of what you feel intuitively is good for you, I feel like this would be good for me. What if you hold on to that? Almost like a mantra or something you repeat over and over, whatever that thing is. I want to do this, or I will do this, I will do that. Oftentimes that's called conscious languaging, or sometimes people will call it your own mantra. I want to love more. So you could just repeat the word love, love, love. And that kind of keeps you on that energy stream. In fact, it does keep you on that clarity or energy stream. And you repeat that through your day. Let the oneness figure out how you can be more of an embodiment and flow of love. Or astronaut. Let the universe figure out how you will become an astronaut. But yet follow it. It comes to you, hey, I need to go to school. I need to learn math. I need to do this, and I want to because I want to be an astronaut. The universe will guide you, but I can't afford to go to school. Astronaut. Well, maybe a grant comes to you because the universe is conspiring. Point is, you don't have to struggle because the universe is flowing through you, the power of the universe. Why? Because you are that power. You are the universe, oneness. You are oneness. Oneness is you, all-knowing and all-powerful. And it wants the personal drama of you to be exactly the way it is, including the supposed struggle. Well, I'm not clear. I don't know what to do, how to do it. Is there anything wrong with that? No. Only from the perspective, perhaps, of a disconnected person, because it feels very dark. And I've been there, and it feels horrible. And perhaps you have too. But from the position of awakening, it's just fine not to know what's going on. It's just fine not to have clarity. It's just fine to be in pain. Now I can relax into oneness. I can relax and trust that everything knows what's going on. The oneness, the everything knows what's going on. It's like the waves can relax into the ocean. The water is infinite to the wave. It can relax back into the ocean. It can melt back into the ocean. It can trust the ocean, even though it feels quite separate, perhaps, as a wave. When it melts back in, it's one. And the ocean is guiding all the waves, ultimately, the current and the other aspects of the ocean. And that analogy breaks down a little bit because in oneness, it's well beyond the ocean, isn't it? It's the wind, it's a lot of other things are guiding those waves. The oneness is guiding the waves, just like we are being guided. So relax. It's okay. Let your intuition flow through you and just trust that's good. That's good enough. Picture what it is you want, and the oneness will make it happen. And even if you can't picture what you want, just trust that's okay. The oneness wants your life to be like that right now, and that's okay. Will that evolve? Yes. Will it evolve into pictures? I don't know. It will evolve into something very effective and healing and opening and awakening for you. That I do know. Everybody has a different path, so what does yours look like? I'm not sure, but I know it will be perfect because oneness is guiding it. And you can relax. It's all okay. That's trust. Trust is deep relaxation because you know it's all okay. Even any pain is okay. Even unclarity is okay because oneness wants it that way. Okay. In future podcasts, we're going to talk about some of the other issues that possibly have been brought up by this podcast. Like, well, in oneness, is there free will? It feels like I'm an individual person. Is there free will? What about that? Or, hey, do I need to do certain things individually? I think I've covered it in this podcast that yes, you're guided by your intuition and you let those impulses flow through you, and that does become action. So that I think we've covered, but we'll probably talk about it in one way or the other in another podcast. Anyway, that's enough for today, I think, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care. Bye. Hello, this is William. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please consider sharing it with somebody else. Send them a link. Thanks so much.